Hi, I'm Cassidy,
And I'm Aliana.
and we're going to talk to you about the neurotransmitter GABA.
GABA stands for gamma aminobutyric acid, and it's C4H9NO2, and it has the structure of an amino acid.
The formation of GABA. GABAergic neurons are neurons that produce the neurotransmitter GABA. GABA is a nonspecific neurotransmitter. An example of a cell that produces the neurotransmitter is a medium spiny cell, which is located in the striatum, a basal ganglia structure in the forebrain. The GABA shunt is the process to produce and conserve GABA. The main idea is that the excitatory neurotransmitter glutamate becomes an inhibitory neurotransmitter GABA. GABA is synthesized from glutamate by the enzyme L-glutamic acid decarboxylase, which is shown in the orange. The purple, which is glutamate, with the enzyme orange, becomes the yellow neurotransmitter. The cofactor pyridoxal phosphate also helps with the synthesis of the neurotransmitter. To conserve the GABA, alpha-ketoglutamate accepts an amino group from the GABA, which can be seen by the green star. The function of GABA. So, in the neonatal stage, GABA is an excitatory neurotransmitter. However, in the adult stage, it's an inhibitory neurotransmitter. This is because as the brain develops, there's a difference in concentration of cotransporters and a difference in the gradient of chloride. As you can see, in the immature neurons, the NKCC1 comes into the cell, while the chloride ions go out of the cell. But in the mature neurons, KCC2 goes out and chloride comes in. Due to this difference in concentrations of the cotransporters, there's a hyperpolarization and a depolarization, which explains why GABA is excitatory rather than inhibitory as a baby. The GABA is the chief inhibitory neuron in the central nervous system. It plays an important role in behavior, cognition, and the body's response to stress. It also helps to control fear and anxiety, and it's involved in maintaining the internal body clock by regulating circadian rhythms. In addition, it plays a role in the reproductive functions by influencing hormonal cycles. Although GABA is mostly present, it has the greatest concentration in the central nervous system. It's also located in various other non-neural tissues, just in a smaller concentration. For example, you can see in the pancreas that beta cells secrete GABA to inhibit the creation of glucagon, and in the immune system, GABA works to suppress inflammatory responses. GABA can also be found in the stomach, uterus, kidneys, bladder, lungs, and liver.
Receptors. The receptors are composed of 5 different subunits. Due to conformational flexibility, it allows it to bind to different receptors. There are 3 main types, GABA A, B, and C. GABA A and C receptors are ionotropic, and as you can see in the photo, GABA A receptors allow for negatively charged chloride ions to come into the cell, therefore hyperpolarizing it. GABA B receptors are metaborotropic, and it is G protein coupled. The GABA B receptors allow for positively charged potassium ions to flow out of the cell, also hyperpolarizing it. The figures here are showing the effects of bicuculin on the GABA A receptors. As previously mentioned, that GABA A receptors allow for negatively charged chloride ions to flow into the cell. In the control, which is shown on the left, once the stimulus is applied, there is a large increase in current. This is due to the negatively charged chloride ions rushing in. And on the right, where it says control, you can see the small releases of GABA that are done at random. Once the bicuculin is applied, it completely blocks all effects of the GABA neurotransmitter. As you can see on the line at the bottom, there was no change in current since the GABA neurotransmitter did not have any effect. You can also see that there are no more random releases of the GABA neurotransmitter since the bicuculin is completely blocking it.
So, what happens if there's too much or not enough GABA in the body? Overexpression results in feelings of calmness and drowsiness, along with tingling sensations, shortness of breath, changes in blood pressure, and changes in heart rate. It also results in sleeping disorders, such as narcolepsy, which is excessive sleepiness. If there's underexpression, Some symptoms include depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, and sleeping disorders, such as insomnia, a disorder where you can't sleep.
Diseases. Spastic cerebral palsy, damaged nerves cannot absorb the GABA neurotransmitter. Diseases that lead to deficiency in GABA can also lead to panic attacks, seizures, and headaches. People who are epileptic will often experience seizures because they do not have enough GABA. The GABA is used to counterbalance all the excitatory signals that the muscles in the brain are receiving.
Drugs. There are various non-prescription and prescription drugs that affect the amount of GABA in the blood. Alcohol and caffeine are examples of non-prescription drugs. Alcohol can easily pass the blood-brain barrier, and by mimicking GABA, it's able to bind to the GABA receptors, leading to inhibitory signals to be sent to neighboring neurons. Prescription drugs include benzodiazepines, which bind to GABA receptors, closing the gates and not allowing chloride ions to come in.
Thank
Thanks.
you.